All right.
We are live.
Live.
Episode number 13.
It's going to be our lucky 13.
Let's fucking go. Yeah.
Pumped. All right. So right off the top, let's talk about the Cleveland Browns and how sad I am. There was a lot of hope and optimism in me when we recorded our last episode. And then that got completely destroyed.
It was 2 episodes ago.
Yeah, it was 2 episodes ago.
But, yeah.
And that got completely destroyed.
I've had fun watching those segments as we've done editing and stuff and just known how much Ryan's heart's been ripped out of his chest.
God damn it. Right after I talked about how excited the city would be if the Browns actually made the Super Bowl and all of that, and then we just got stomped. And what was crazy is the Browns have this crazy-ass defense, and C.J. Stroud carved them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I was, guy in his first playoff game, the dude throws for 275 yards and 3 touchdowns. And,
Right.
being
incredible.
Incredible. And being the Buckeye fan that I am, I already hated the fact that the Browns had to play him anyways.
Yeah.
And if they had to lose, I suppose the silver lining is that it's him.
I feel like that's kind of a pussy way to think about it.
I'm trying to make myself feel better. When you have had as much heartbreak as a Browns fan has, you try to find ways to make yourself feel better.
Yeah.
But since then,
I'm a Cardinals fan. We've been through this conversation.
You've been to a Super Bowl.
So
end of discussion. All right. So C.J. Stroud did win Rookie of the Year. Not even just offensive Rookie of the Year. He won Rookie of the Year.
Well, I mean, CJ should have been. I mean, it was in talks of MVP.
Yeah.
So of course he's gonna fucking win Rookie of the Year.
It was a landslide. Yeah. And just one more plug for my Buckeyes. This is just one more dude who's won a Rookie of the Year award in the last few years. Both Bosa's, Chase Young, Marshawn Lattimore, Garrett Wilson last year, C.J. Stroud this year. The Buckeyes are putting some studs into the league. All right. That's all I have to say about that.
You off your high horse for now?
I'm done. I had to get my shit up. I was wearing the sweatshirt, so I was in a Buckeye mood.
Yeah.
I'm in a football mood. And speaking of that, how about the games coming up this weekend?
Yeah.
They'll
probably be done by the time this goes live.
Yes, this probably will. But
we can still talk about them.
We Beardo and I were both right. We didn't think the Eagles were going to make it through, and they didn't.
No.
But I would say all the games this past weekend were good outside of the Browns getting smoked.
Right.
I thought the games this weekend were pretty good.
Yeah.
Baltimore is good, dude.
Baltimore's a good team.
Their defense made Stroud look very pedestrian, and Houston looked very pedestrian.
Yeah, I was still, as much as I do like the Ravens more than the Texans. So I don't know why I was kind of pulling for the Texans, just because it was such an underdog story.
That's the thing, right? I know, that's it.
Other than that, I think it's a shitty organization with shitty management that's going to end up fucking up a lot of stuff. They're not going to be what they could be with an athlete like CJ there. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like Lamar is such a fucking nightmare to try to defend, right? It's like your defensive backfield can do everything under the sun to cover guys. And then he's, the play breaks down and the dude just takes off for 20 yards. He's ridiculous.
I feel like Lamar is in real life what we wanted Kyler to be. And what we keep hoping
way bigger.
Kyler will be. Yeah, way fucking
And he's
bigger.
Huge. Think about that, though. I mean, that makes a difference when you're a running quarterback that takes hits.
That makes a difference.
Look how big Josh Allen is. I mean, the guy's like, makes a lot of goal line runs and takes a beating, but he's fucking huge.
Yeah.
Kyler's small. And I don't think the body can hold up. Lamar's a big guy. I think people don't realize how big Lamar actually is.
I want you to think about something for a second. I want you to think about if Travis Kelce had a better arm. Right? If he could make it truly as a quarterback, because he's so fucking big and physical.
Yeah.
How fun that guy would be to watch.
Yeah, but he's doing pretty well at tight end.
Yeah. Debatably the best tight end to ever play the game.
Yeah, it'd be hard to argue that.
But I think that would be, that'd be like Superman out there playing, right?
Isn't it so funny? He's a damn superstar, arguably the best tight end in the league for the last, I don't know what, 8 years or so, right?
Right.
And he's still in the news more because of Swift than anything else. Like, come on, man.
Hey, I like Taylor Swift as much as anyone. As much as everyone wants to, say that it's gay or whatever you want to say about listening to. We might have to cut that out.
We're not that. Our listeners aren't that sensitive.
No, yeah. And the ones that are, we just roast in the comments.
They don't care. I don't think they care.
Oh, I have had fun doing those comment videos recently, though. We were chopping up the comments and stuff. And yeah, so episode 20, we'll do that again. We'll have a lot more material to work with.
Yeah. If this is the first time you're seeing a podcast of ours, go into the comment section and any of the shorts on our YouTube channel, and you will see that we made a commitment to respond to every comment, and we'll continue to do so. So feel free to call us and comment in there, tell us we're funny, tell us we're dicks. We don't care.
Yeah, we don't care if it's good or bad.
We just really want the attention.
Fuck it. Yeah. And we have fun with it.
And it's fun. And people have been great.
You're not going to hurt our feelings no matter what.
No, I've been called worse no matter what you try and do. So yeah, it's been fun. I think it's been good. We've been putting out the shorts about it and kind of answering stuff. I think it's funny, the circumcision comments.
Oh, people were taken so serious.
They got
and then
serious.
So for one, we got a lot of comments about that one video. Okay. Then when we posted us responding to the comments, it's like these same dickheads come back and decide to get into it with their either religious, medical advice. It was a fucking joke.
Yeah, people had some strong opinions about that.
Well, getting dicks chopped off. That is, it's not even chopped off, just chopped up.
Just chopped up.
Yeah, it's
trimming the fat off the ribeye, right?
That's right.
But like people had some funny opinions about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways, the NFC, the conference championship games this week.
Yep.
Who do you like? So I think the Baltimore, the lines that I remember seeing, I think Baltimore is favored by 3.5 at home against KC.
Yeah.
And I think that the Niners are favored by 7 at home against Detroit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What are your thoughts? Who you got?
I gotta still go with KC, man.
Yeah.
KC and Niners. I think that's what you're gonna see again. I'd like to be wrong, just because I do like Lamar a lot. Right? He's such a stud. But I think that. Yeah, I was just watching a video where Stephen A was talking about how he thinks he's taking Lamar because he fucking thinks Lamar wants it more. Like, fuck you, dude. They're professional athletes. They all want it a lot.
I think.
Like, I don't think there's a whole lot of wanting it more at that fucking level.
Probably not. I mean, the pinnacle of it is the Super Bowl, right? And you're so close. I think I will take Baltimore in this game, though.
Okay.
I feel like if their defense can play like they did against Houston, I mean, I realize that Mahomes is a different quarterback and has a lot of playoff experience. But if that defense can play that well, and you've got to deal with Lamar, and they're tough to beat at home.
Well, but it's interesting that you talk about playoff experience, because they were talking about playoff experience during the Cowboys game against the Who was it against? The Texans? No, that was against Green Bay. Yeah. Regardless, they were talking about that. And talking about who had more, right? And was it during the Cowboys game? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what game it was. But how statistically playoff experience really doesn't matter, because on most teams, because people are traded around and everything like that, most teams, most players don't have legitimate, like the majority of starters do not have playoff experience. But that doesn't mean that teams don't make runs, it's just, I think that a lot of it really is I think it's a testament to the coaching and the management. You take a team like KC, who's taken so many weapons away from Patrick Mahomes, right? That because they have to, in order to fit him in financially, to fit his salary into what they're paying him and Travis Kelce. Like, you can't. There's no fucking room for anything else, but they're still good. They're still consistently good. And so a lot of the players, that helped get KC through the playoffs multiple times and everything, have shifted off too.
Yeah. Tyreek Hill was a tough loss for them.
Yeah.
I just think that, like, for most of the positions, I might agree with you. I think quarterback is different. I think playoff experience at QB, with a guy like Mahomes, who's been on the biggest stage, who's won Super Bowls, like, I think for your leader that everyone's going to look up to, it makes a difference, and Mahomes got that.
Is there any doubt at this point that Mahomes will eclipse Tom Brady as the GOAT?
10 Super Bowls.
I mean,
Brady played in 10.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Let's see.
Yeah, I guess we got to see how long Mahomes
that's the
career
thing. It's
will
the
last,
longevity, right? But I mean,
a major injury could fuck a lot of things up
over the first 6-7 years or whatever. I mean, he's on track, right? But let's see if he can stick around at the high level that they've got.
Right.
I think that it makes a difference because Mahomes is so tough in the playoffs. I still think Baltimore wins this game at home in a close one. And I feel like Detroit's kind of the team that people are sleeping on a little bit.
Yeah, no, I agree. They look strong.
You know what I mean? Because my gut says San Fran at home is a lock, but Detroit seems to be a pretty motivated fucking group.
They look fucking nasty.
But I'm really curious to see what the Niners defense can do.
Well, and here's the other reality is I think throughout the season, we've seen the Niners look great.
Yeah.
And we've seen the Niners just look kind of good.
Yeah.
So I think it depends on what 49ers team shows up. And I think that will play a pretty pivotal role in what actually happens, what transpires.
I think McCaffrey he's just such a weapon, man. Like, God, he's ridiculous. I think both games are going to be good. If gun to my head, I'm going to say it's Baltimore and the Niners in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
And I'll take the Niners to win it all.
Well, I will hold you to the gun to your head comment.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah. And next time we're going to shoot you in the leg if you're wrong. So there's that. But hey, man, speaking of comments, if you've got some opinions on what your thoughts are on the games coming up, drop them in there. Tell me why. Tell me who you'd bet. I think if I'm going to take bets on this, I might take the Lions and the points because I think 7 is kind of a lot, and I can see a field goal game there. But I would lay the points. I would lay the 3.5 with Baltimore and take them.
Okay,
that's my thoughts. Let's see how I do. I'm playing with pretend money.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens.
Yeah, pretend money and a tiny penis.
Yeah, both of them. Well, they go together.
Yeah. So switching gears a little bit.
Yeah.
Sean Strickland fight.
Holy shit.
Fucking A.
Another comment. Tell us what you guys think. Did Strickland get robbed? Did he get robbed of the decision?
I honestly had it at either 4-1 or 3-2 for Strickland. Okay.
Oh, you said even 4-1 maybe.
Yeah.
Even Dana said he had it 2-2 and that he had Strickland win the 5th round.
Because there was some questionable rounds.
Yeah, I agree. 2-2 I think is fair. Did Strickland win the 5th round to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, and I learned something I didn't know this week as well. Because the only reason I could have given one of those earlier rounds to Drakus, is that how I pronounce that right?
Duplessis, yeah.
Yeah, Duplessis, whatever. Drakus sounds cooler.
It is something like
I
that.
think it's like Drakus Duplessis.
Yeah, I think that is right. I've only ever called him Duplessis.
Name,
yeah, it sounds badass.
But so his cat Ryan needs a refill there.
Can I have some more water in my cup? Yeah.
He can. So I personally, I've always thought, because I've been told that takedowns matter for points.
They do.
No, officially, in the most up-to-date
Octagon control.
Wrong. In the most up-to-date version of the MMA rules put out by the UFC. Okay. If you take someone down, but you
don't do anything with it,
you have to take them down and cause damage, which he didn't do.
Right.
Both the takedowns. I mean, he fucking took him down.
No, I agree.
Wrestled with him
pop back up
for less than 10 seconds.
And he pops back up.
And Sean stood up. So the takedowns don't matter. Now, that's the only reason why I would have given him 2 rounds as opposed to 1, right? So other than that, 1 round, and it's when he got cut, which there's controversy over as well, because Sean says it was a headbutt and Duplessis says it was an elbow, which they both have reason to lie.
Right.
And it doesn't necessarily mean either one is lying. I don't know if you've ever been in a fight, but when things are going all over how tough I look.
I don't know if you've ever been in a fight. Hey.
That was a dance battle, not a fight.
It was a dance battle. I was going to say that's as much fighting as Jimmy's done.
But if you've ever been in a fight, like there's so much shit happening, you don't know what
you're getting hit with.
Yeah, it's like getting in a car accident.
Yeah.
You know, well, it seemed normal at first, and then
what body part hit the steering wheel? I don't know. Yeah, that's a big controversy. I mean, that's a title.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, that's a belt. Well, then, and the thing is, they were going to run it back, I think, either way.
I don't think so. I've already heard talks of Duplessis fighting Asanya, but that means that Asanya will come back sooner than he originally said, which I think that they would offer it to him just to get him back in the octagon.
Sure.
He's such a draw.
And then give Strickland the winner?
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, see that.
Especially if Adesanya wins, fucking Strickland deserves another chance.
For sure.
You know?
Yeah.
I was shocked when Strickland, I mean, everyone was. The greatest upset in UFC history was the night.
Was it the
fuck yeah
biggest upset ever?
Strickland was like the number 7 guy, dude.
Yeah. So I'm just thinking of like, so I'm an old school UFC fan, right? The first time St. Pierre lost to now I can't think of who it is. Short dude from Jersey, and landed a fucking haymaker and dropped St. Pierre. To me, that's a bigger upset.
Adesanya deserved an immediate rematch, didn't want it. And I guarantee you could have had it had he wanted it. Okay. Strickland, I'm a Strickland fan. Don't get me wrong here. Okay. Strickland is a 1-win champ. He does not deserve a fucking automatic rematch. I'm sorry, but like,
no, you converted me. I'll give you that. As long as Strickland gets a shot at
beats Duplessis and Strickland doesn't lose during that time, fuck yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, no, I think they both fight again.
Yeah, and
then assuming Adesanya wins, fucking you throw Strickland at him.
Hey, you follow the UFC a little bit more than I do lately. What's going on with Miocic fighting Jones? I know that fight got postponed, but is that still on for?
I haven't heard anything. Jones, all he had was a pec injury, so you'd think that would, if it was a pecker injury, that could take some time. But
right.
Just a pec injury, you'd think that would have, been all right.
Yeah, I want to see that. I want to see that fight. Yeah. I like watching Jones fight at heavyweight, and Miocic's a Cleveland guy, and I love him. So I had a friend of mine. He used to train with him.
Like watching John Jones fight?
Yeah, it's impossible.
Let's be honest. Like I know everyone doesn't like the guy.
We had a lot of speaking of comments. This is a recurring theme in the episode today. We had a lot of people calling Jones a dirty fighter. Well, not calling him a dirty fighter. Let me rephrase that. Calling him the dirtiest fighter ever.
Rampage has said that. Has made that comment.
And a lot of our UFC fans that have commented in said he's dirty as shit. Well,
according to Rampage Jackson, the reason they had to reform the gloves to curve your hand in
because he was poking,
because of how much eye gouging that motherfucker was doing.
And a lot of strikes behind the head. Like a lot of elbows, punches that our fans reminded me of. They're like there's a lot of elbows.
At the same time, I've seen him win as of you several times. In completely clean, I don't think he has to cheat to win. Yeah. He's so fucking good.
And it could just be hitting the guy on top because, I mean, is he the best pound for pound fighter of all time?
Probably.
Right?
Yeah. I mean,
we got kind of quiet and sexy on that. You're like, maybe.
Khabib could have made that run. But stopped fighting.
Actually, as of now, I still got to give it to Khabib.
No.
And say Jones number 2. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Dude, no one's looked more dominating than Khabib in his career. Dude, that dude barely, did he ever lose a fucking round? Like that guy was
Connor.
1 round?
1 round.
All right. In his career. but Jones hasn't lost a lot of rounds either.
No, he has not. And yeah, I got to say most, so here's the kind of the argument. Best ever or most talented ever, right? Because Jones definitely is the most talented fighter to ever fucking fight.
Well, I think that's the
there's no doubt about that.
When you talk about GOATs in the sports, and I think that, and a friend of mine said the same thing, you kind of have to break it out into 2 levels. There's the longevity GOAT.
Yeah.
And then there's the at their peak best GOAT, right? It's the LeBron Jordan conversation. Sure. No one is going to touch what LeBron does longevity wise. The guy's going to own every record.
Yeah.
In the NBA or be in the top 3 of everything by the time he's done because of his longevity. But Jordan in his prime, I mean, I think it's kind of an impossible argument to make that anyone's ever been better in their peak, right? Tiger at his peak as opposed to Jack Nicklaus. Yeah. Now Jack's got more majors, did it for longer, but at their peak of dominating, Woods was setting course record after course record and winning major after major like it was nothing. So if you look at it that way, I think you got to give Jones what he's done, at least in the short term.
Yeah, I think you're probably right about that.
Because I'd put St. Pierre way up in that conversation
and
too.
I'm still here's the difference, in my opinion, between John Jones and George St. Pierre. Okay, is John Jones is so fucking dominant in every goddamn fight. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He's so much better. He outclasses everyone we've seen him fight. And it doesn't matter what kind of fighter they are. He outclasses strikers. He outclasses wrestlers. He outclasses jiu-jitsu guys. He's so fucking good.
Yeah.
Whereas GSP, okay,
defensive fighter.
He's a
counter puncher. Can't take him down. He doesn't finish.
Counter puncher. Sometimes he did the Randy Couture where he just held him down for a while.
So I think that's
like that. I love GSP. Don't get me wrong.
So I think that's the argument though. Like, are they better or more fun to watch?
Well, yeah.
Right. Jones is the more entertaining fighter to watch. GSP maybe not be the most entertaining, but was unbelievable in every aspect.
Yeah.
But did he fight not to lose more than like Jones would come out and just beat your ass? Like they're just different styles.
Right. That's true. Yeah.
So I think that's an argument to, and I'd love to, anybody pipe in on who your top 5 pound for pound MMA fighters are. We'll stick with the UFC because that's probably easiest, but top 5 pound for pound. Let me know what you got.
Do you remember before Conor fucking ruined Jose Aldo's career, how people had him as a potential top pound for pound?
Well, Aldo was amazing, man.
And yeah, but then Conor went in there and but I think he got in his head before too. But he embarrassed him.
Yeah.
In every way.
Again, Conor's going to be super high in the fun to watch fighter category, but not as high in the GOAT category, in my opinion.
Old Conor.
Yeah.
Fun to watch. I don't know about new Conor.
Yeah, we'll see.
I know that he won't have the same fucking reach advantage at 170 or 185.
Sure.
He won't. I think he probably still does have the strongest hands. You know, that was one thing Poirier said was that hardest he's ever been hit was Conor McGregor.
Conor's a heavy-handed dude, and he's accurate.
Well, and I was watching Rogan, and he had some medical guy who was analyzing fighters, right? And so he said Conor will never have the endurance because he's got the snap that helps him hit so hard. Conor will never have the endurance that some of these other guys have, and it's because your muscles bring oxygen in.
He's using so much more energy because of how hard he hits.
Well, just the way people are built differently, right? And people's muscles absorb
muscular
oxygen
people get tired
in different ways.
Yeah.
And well, it's not even a muscular thing, but he's just said that's why quick people aren't distance runners, and distance people aren't sprinters.
That makes sense,
right? And it makes perfect sense. And he said, so someone who can snap and hit as hard as Conor will never have the same endurance as some of these other guys who are wrestlers, or you know what I mean?
Or even like the Diaz brothers that can sit there and throw 1,000 punches.
A million.
But it's a little bit more, I don't want to call it pity pad because I'm sure it sucks to get hit by them, but they're high volume punchers, not really knockout guys.
Exactly.
But like, I mean, who throws more punches than 8 Diaz in a fight? Jesus, the guy's hands are constantly moving.
Well,
and nothing's super powerful.
He never seems to get tired.
No, that's my point to what you're saying. Like he's going to throw 1,000 punches and it's just a cumulative effect, whereas Conor's got one shot knockout power.
Supposedly Strickland's endurance is fucking incredible. Is what everyone's saying. But I did think that was one thing that was kind of surprising is he did look a little winded after he took the cutting blow, and that could be partially hurt, right?
Yeah.
But you know, after he took that, so going into the 5th round, he looked a little winded to me. But you know,
did you know? Speaking of the Strickland conversation, one of the things that we talked about a couple of episodes ago was how crazy Strickland appears to be.
Fucking A, he's insane,
right? And did you see the most recent beef about him, where Duplessis was saying stuff about his dad? I think Strickland came out and was talking about some abuse that he'd had from dad or whatever, a father figure at some point in his life. Duplessis brought it up, and Strickland's comment was, "Dude, you're stepping outside of the fighting realm, and I will fucking stab you." That's a quote. I read a whole article about it. This is after you and I talked about it. I'm like, this is why Strickland's got this reputation. He says shit like that.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't mind getting in a ring and you and I trying to beat the shit out of each other, but you're stepping outside of that.
And that happened in Canada. Okay. And there was talks of just making a threat like that is illegal in Canada. Oh. And so I got to give it to Duplessis. He was asked a question about would you ever want to pursue legal action? And he goes, no, are you kidding me? This is leading up to a fight. This is what we do.
Yeah, right.
Like
fucking Canadians.
You know, whether or not Sean was serious, he's just like, no.
These Canucks are all soft.
Yeah.
No. But here's the thing. Like one of the funniest comments I think I've ever read that anyone has sent to us was when we were calling Strickland kind of crazy, and I think it's fair to say the dude appears to be a little intense sometimes,
a tad unstable.
A Strickland fan had the funniest quote that I think I've ever seen, and it said, "Strickland's not a psycho. Grow up, you old baby." He called me an old baby, and I don't remember who it was, whoever you were, that was goddamn funny and made me laugh out loud because I do look like an old baby. And my response was something like, yeah, you know what? I even cry when I'm hungry and occasionally wet myself. So definitely an old baby, but I thought that was so funny. Like, I would like to have that dude on the podcast. The old baby comment had me dying.
Yeah, that is pretty funny.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Strickland.
And I was like, God, is this Sean Strickland himself? Like, why are you defending this dude? Like, there's plenty of evidence that points to the fact that dude's nuts.
Fucking hilarious.
You know? But
yeah.
I was surprised that Strickland lost. I had him winning. I thought for sure he's going to win that fight. I mean, he looked so good against Adesanya. How do you not, right? Like,
right. But I mean, yeah, shit happens.
Yeah.
And again, like Dana always says, this is why you don't take it to the judges.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
That's a good point.
You know, there's a reason why you want to finish the fucking fight.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it was clear against Adesanya, right? But even while waiting for the scorecard, it's still like, well, it's gonna happen, you know.
You can see how pissed Dana was. He was putting the belt on Duplessis, dude. He was like, everyone's got their hands up and they're all going crazy, and he's standing back there like, God damn it. I don't think it's what the UFC really wanted.
So Chael Sonnen had some interesting comments about that, because he had and Strickland's his boy, right? But he had Strickland losing, and he said, but Rogan and Dana both had him winning, right? And he said one of the differences.
Did Rogan come out and say that he had Strickland winning too?
Yeah. And he said one of the differences is I watched it on TV. They watched it live.
Mm-hmm.
And so on TV, I was able to be influenced. My opinion was able to be influenced by what the commentators were saying.
Right. That happens for sure.
Whereas watching it live,
it's raw.
It's raw.
You're processing it for yourself.
Yeah. And so I thought that was an interesting observation.
You know, I wonder how big of a difference that may, and like even like the angle that you have live. Yeah. You're going to see certain fights and certain punches thrown and certain things that you might not see from just a different seat.
Right.
You know, so I think perspective comes into play, but I hate when there's shitty
decisions. Have you been to a live UFC?
No, I went to,
it's pretty fun.
I've never been to a live UFC. I've been to some live MMA fights, but never at the UFC level, some lower level shit.
We should go next time they come here.
Yeah, it would be fun.
That would be fun.
Yeah. I went to, so it's kind of funny. So I'll tell you a quick story about my only MMA live contest. It was called the Ohio Fight Fest. This was back in Cleveland. And it was like probably at least one level below the UFC, but there were good fighters there. There's a couple of dudes that no, it was. Like, there were good guys. There were guys that eventually fought in the UFC.
Yeah. I'm going to put them several levels below the UFC, but,
so
I mean, there's Bellator. There's all these other international
one level below what the pay-per-view what you're watching, right? These guys were good, and there's guys.
There's Pride. There's all these different things. Right. Okay,
one level below those. But there were
30 levels below the UFC.
But here's
what you're saying.
Lots of levels below the UFC.
I know it happened in Ohio, so it's got to be the best in your opinion.
It was basically a street fight that happened in a gymnasium in a high school. No, it wasn't. But the one thing that I noticed was, like, when you're not at that peak level, the talent difference in the fights is significant. Because you might have a guy who's in his 15th fight and a guy who's fighting like kind of for the first time.
Isn't Strickland out of Ohio? I think he is.
No, is he?
I'll look it up.
Okay.
Go on with your story.
So I go to this fight and I've got great seats. I don't know if you guys remember who Butterbean is. The king of the 3-rounders, the boxing dude. Anyway, he sat right in front of me, and that guy's fucking enormous. But I'm watching this fight, and the talent gap was so intense that you'd see one guy that you could just see when they were in the ring that someone was going to get killed. And I can't tell you how many like head kick knockouts I saw because one guy had 10 fights and some guy was fighting for the first time. And it was brutal, almost like someone was getting picked on. Like, some of these guys looked like they didn't want to be in the ring at all. You know what I mean? They didn't want to be in the cage at all. They looked terrified.
I was wrong. He's from California.
Yeah, I didn't think he was from Ohio. But the talent gap was just absolutely significant, and guys were getting their ass whipped. Like, I felt bad for some kids. You know what I mean? But no, never been to a UFC live. I'd like to.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
That's a lie. I was at the one in Phoenix the last time they were here.
Oh, see, I went to the first one.
Who the hell fought? No, I don't remember who fought.
Yeah, I got to see Nate Diaz fight there.
That's sweet.
Do you remember the skyscraper? Stefan Struve or whatever. He was like
6'10", 6'11". Yeah, he's huge.
Yeah.
The Swedish dude.
Yeah. And it was cool. I was on like the 12th row or whatever at the stadium, which put me, because the octagon's raised, it put me basically at eye level with the fighters, which was pretty sweet.
That is awesome.
Yeah. Larry Fitzgerald and Calais Campbell were sitting like right down ahead of us.
Calais Campbell is huge.
Yeah, he's a beast. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
That is cool. Yeah, it's a different energy at those fights.
It's very different. And the other thing that I wasn't anticipating was how much fucking time it takes between fights compared to watching it on TV.
Yeah, forever.
Because the arena just kind of, nothing's happening.
Yeah, there's no commentators that you can hear
nothing,
that are,
nothing.
yeah.
No commercials,
Yeah.
no. It's like, all right, well, let's go get drunk.
Go to the bar, yeah. That's it. That's why you get so hammered at those goddamn fights. You've got too much time in between.
Yeah.
It's like having a set break every.
Well, and especially when a fight ends quick, right?
Yeah.
Because the other guys are still getting ready.
Yeah.
You know,
it takes a while.
They're not coming out until they're ready.
Yeah. There's a lot of downtime. A lot of drinking goes on at those.
Yeah. It's fun though. You know,
It's
I'm
a
okay
blast.
with that sort of thing.
Yeah, I like the fights.
I'd appreciate it if the beers were a little cheaper, but you know.
God, you get killed at those things, don't you?
Fuck. Yeah, what world do stadiums live in to charge that much for everything?
It's unbelievable.
Fucking ridiculous.
Like the mini bar at your hotel room, these stadium fucking prices. You're like, come on, man.
Yeah.
I just went to, where the hell was I? Oh, I just went to the Eagles Steely Dan concert here in Phoenix. And I got a round of drinks, 5 of them, I think. Mm-hmm. And I mean, people were getting doubles because we didn't want to have to keep going back to the bar. It was $200 for the round of drinks I bought for 5 people. 1 round of drinks.
Yeah.
I'm like, you fucking crazy. Kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah.
But they know you don't have an option.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. I took my son, last time I took my son to a football game. I didn't even drink. And it was still ridiculous. I mean, we still spent a couple $100.
Snacks and pops.
On shit. Garbage
Hot
food.
dogs, popcorn, and a couple of Cokes.
Yeah. I mean, they gouge you enough on the goddamn ticket. And then once you get into the stadium, Ryan's going hard in the paint.
I kind of am, aren't I?
Good work.
I'm just trying to hydrate. A lot of water for me today. You too?
Yeah, why not? Thank you, Kat. Our lovely assistant over here.
Everybody needs one.
Yeah. We might need to cut this part out.
Or not. Let's just go.
Fuck it.
We're just going gonzo.
We're not going to make any shorts out of this one. This part.
Oh, for you?
Yeah. Yeah, come on, Ryan.
My bad.
Be a gentleman.
Yeah, what the fuck? I'm not good at it. I'm just selfish. I'm an only child.
Cat's on beer number 2.
Look at her.
Oh, boy. We're having a good time tonight.
No one's driving home. We're leaving the car here.
Oh, one of the funniest experiences with your wife. Well, that sounds so bad, but
everyone has fun experiences with my wife, but me.
But she was here recording a podcast, and beforehand we went over and got lunch over at the Harvey's,
the little dive bar,
and she drank one and a half Coors Lights poured over ice.
She's a crazy woman.
Ate a half-pound burger and fries, and was like, I don't know if I can drive back to the studio. I'm like, well, for one, it's like a quarter mile away. Like, I think you'd be all right. But, like, really?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like we...
Lightweight.
I can't say it's not like we were taking... Because I think Angie was taking shots. I think she did a shot of Jaeger. So,
yeah, she goes big.
They're at lunch.
That's awesome.
But they recorded a great podcast after that.
That's all that matters.
Yeah. Helped them open up a little bit.
Yeah.
We tried to record before, and they both just kind of sat here and stared at each other.
Like you and I do. Look lovingly into each other's eyes. What do you want to talk about? I don't know.
It was funny. We had a good time, though.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, basketball season, I feel like it's still too early, though. I'd like to see the Suns fucking start.
They have a little bit. They've made a little bit of a move.
Not enough, you know. What are the Cavs? Are they?
Yeah, the Cavs are hot.
Yeah.
I haven't looked in the last couple of days, but they had won 8 straight. Honestly, hottest team. Hottest team in the NBA. I think they're still sitting in a 4 seed in the East. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but the Cavs are starting, and they got such a young roster. Like, people forget how young this team really is. So, they're starting to make a little bit of noise. I'm thinking they can finish as a top 4 in the East,
there you go.
Along with Boston, Milwaukee, and we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm with you, man. I think they've got almost the same record as the Suns. I think the Suns are like 5-6 seed in the East or in the West right now. Both looking like they'll make the playoffs, so we'll see.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, can I talk to you about? I know that we never talk about golf on this channel.
Of course, you can talk about anything.
But one of the
this is the anything goes
rare
fucking
thing.
Podcast.
I'll talk about golf because a rare thing happened. We had an amateur win the American Express tournament this past weekend. It hasn't happened in almost 35 years, 33, 34 years. I think Phil Mickelson might have been the last amateur to win.
Really?
I think he won. I mean, he's an ASU guy right out here in Phoenix.
I thought that we had a winner of a pro tournament like 2 years ago.
I don't think so. He might have finished in the top couple. There was someone
maybe that's what it was.
There's someone who did really well. I remember.
Maybe
that.
not one.
No, but
did well.
This dude won, and it was absolutely crazy. He's 20 years old, University of Alabama guy. I think Dunlap's the last name.
20.
20. Fought off.
Can't even drink yet.
Fought off some of the best golfers in the world. And the thing about golf is, it's not like you can get hot for an hour and that's enough. You got to do it for 4 days.
We live in Arizona. I'm always hot when I'm fucking golfing.
Right. But you've got to do it for 4 days against the best talent on earth. And this dude had to drop a 6-foot putt on the 18th hole. Talk about nerves of steel. And he drilled it. So I just tip of the cap to the fucking amateur winning dude.
And let's be honest. If you and I played 18 per day for 4 days in a row, the 5th day, we can't get out of bed.
Oh, I'd have a comma in my score. How'd you shoot on the final day at 5,006? Went through 14 dozen balls.
Yeah, exactly. Stopped caring.
Yeah.
Drank 5,000 beers.
Tequila shots by the 3rd green. Yeah, ridiculous.
A shit show out there.
Yeah. So I was impressed by that, man.
And that's walking.
Yeah, they walked. I walk 1 hole. I need a nap. These guys walk 72 in a weekend. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's pretty cool. You love seeing stuff like that.
Yeah, it's just you pull for the young kid. 20 years old. He said his heart was in his throat. You know what I mean? He's just trying to keep his shit together. I mean, imagine trying to get to sleep that night with a lead going into Sunday as an amateur. I mean, he's the number 1 amateur in the country, so like the guy's legit, obviously. But getting the win there. I mean, it's happened like 4 times in 80 years. Yeah, so it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, trying to relax, you'd be jerking off so many times that like you'd rub the skin right off your penis.
Hopefully not on air, but who knows? They got those damn cameras everywhere.
Gotta relax.
Yeah. Your caddy's like, again?
I'm doing this for the team.
Yeah.
Or for the game.
Again?
Oh, man. But yeah, I think that's a good stopping point.
Yeah, we had fun. Got a little silly.
The penis.
Yeah, got a little silly. Speaking of the circumcision jokes. So, yeah.
Speaking of which, do you have anything coming up for stand-up?
No, it's kind of funny. I was talking about this last night with my wife. I have nothing. I haven't done anything since the end of November, and I have nothing booked. So I probably should.
Yeah, we should probably both get back at it.
I'm actually thinking about daring myself to go up with no prepared material and do crowd work.
More or less what I did
for 5 minutes.
I just told a story, but I didn't do crowd work.
Crowd work. That's my next challenge for myself. We'll see if I'm man enough to actually do it. But that's what
you're not.
Probably. Let's see what happens.
All right. We'll go ahead and sign off for today.
Thanks, guys.